Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is on how to make the center little panel between the taillights on the Trans Am light up. I made probably 2 or 3 of these, and they are kind of aggravating, I'm not going to lie. So make sure you like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the video. And here we go. So this is everything you need to do this little project with. You need a heat gun, some spray paint, 3-inch cutoff wheel, or you can use a Dremel with a cutoff wheel. That will probably take a little longer. LED strips. You can get the color changing ones, or you can get a solid color, whichever one you want. These are just red. This is just an extra one I had. You probably should get like an 8-inch red LED strip for this project that you can get off eBay for just a few dollars. A sander. I'm just using 600 grit sandpaper. Decal says Trans Am and the bird, or you can get any decal that you want to light up. So say you want the Patriots logo or something like that, you can get a decal like that and use that to light up. You need 3M double-sided tape. You need a ton of clamps. I'm not lying, you need probably all these clamps to actually do this. You can get these from Lowe's, like $2, $1 a piece, or you can go on eBay and get a whole set for like $5 or $6 for a lot of them. You need a 14-inch by 7-inch piece of plexiglass. This is just 0.080 inch thick. It's just the normal standard plexiglass they offer at Lowe's. Then you need the actual center piece itself. They have different types. This one's just a smooth one. You can get the one that says Trans Am and the bird or Firebird. They are all the same. So that's really all you need for this project. Okay, so the first step to doing this is probably the most crucial part and the most hardest part to actually do. After you get past this step, it's not that bad. So what you want to do is take the plexiglass, line it up on the corners, then get you 3 clamps. It don't matter which size you use. I just use this one and the big one in the middle. That way it helps line it up. Then what you want to do is take the heat gun and go back and forth heating up the plexiglass. So while you do that, you're gonna put some gloves on and start bending the plexiglass back. So basically all you're doing is basically making a mold of how it's already bent around like that. So you want to heat it up and slowly bend it. Then once you start bending it, you want to clamp it on this side too. That way it'll curve. But the key to this is you don't want to get it too hot, because if you get it too hot, then it's just going to like melt basically and like bubble. So it's a little aggravating. You just got to make sure you keep it even and hot, but don't hold it in one spot too long, or it will melt the actual plexiglass. So I will get to doing this, and I hope that made sense, because this is the very crucial part in actually making this look good. Okay, so I finally got the piece of plexiglass bent around. It'd probably help you had some of the bigger ones to put on that side, because it's barely clipped on there, just holding the edge. But now I'm going to take a Sharpie and just mark the center here and use my drill and drill a hole. Then I'll take it off and I'll show you the next step. So I got the hole drilled finally. I didn't have a big enough drill bit, so I just used my Dremel. So it's probably not the best circle in the world, but I'm pretty sure the hole is 3/4 inch. So this is how it should kind of look once you bend it. You get it molded, then you just lay it back on there. Then you want to get it clamped and all that. Just bend it back whenever you go to actually install everything. So now I'm going to use my 3-inch cutoff wheel, and you want to cut this whole face off, but you want to leave about 1 inch all the way around, give or take. So you want just the center section to come out. So you want to leave about 1 inch of the black stuff here. That way you have a place to actually mount the plexiglass. So I'll go ahead and cut that and I'll get back with you. Okay, so finally got that piece off. Remember there's little L-like brackets in here that actually hold the bottom of this piece on. As you can see, you probably have to break them, or unless you cut like right below them. It can get a little aggravating. If you use a Dremel, this will probably take you a long time. That's why I used to use doing this besides that. But so far, that's on it on that. So the next part is I'm going to sand this, sand that. Then I don't know if you can actually relate to what I'm doing, but then that will be like your new piece, if that makes sense. Okay, so I went ahead and sanded the front side of this and the back side. The reason you want to sand the back side is so you have a place to stick the 3M tape and it'll stick, and also it fades out the light. That way it's not straight light through. As you can see, you can't see straight through it. It's kind of fuzzy. So when you do that, it evens out the light. And I sanded the outside of this, that way it's nice and smooth. And now I'm going to go ahead and put the 3M tape on the back and just lay it right here and not stick it. Then I'm going to put the decals on the plexiglass. I might actually have to come back here on the panel and like cut this little section out. That way I can actually get the full bird's light up, because I don't know once I put it there if it's going to dodge this piece or not. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so I got my decal on there. I lined it up just barely perfect, and it's barely just enough size for the light to actually shine up through the bird. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually place my lights in here. And I told you in the beginning of the video I'm going to use my LED strips. Well, they're actually too long, the ones I have, so I'm just going to use some red halos that I have laying around. So I'm going to put them up in here, and hopefully that will actually work. I don't feel like going to the parts store and spending $35 on 2 LED strips for this video. No offense, because I don't have no use for this. I'm just making a video to help people out there. So I'm just going to use these little halos. I'll put like 2 or 3 in here. Hopefully they'll shine up bright enough. So I'm going to go ahead and start installing everything. Okay, so I finally got the plexiglass stuck. I just put the bottom side down. Then I just heated it just a tad, that way it won't crack when you go to bend it back. And again, I'm just using some halos, so it might not look too good when I get it done, like light up output. So you want to get the strips, like 8 inches. I don't have no more, like I said before. I'm just making that clear for, I know people are on the internet for them saying like it looks like crap and this and that. I'm just using some extra halos I had that are red. So the next step is to paint this black. So I'm just going to use some spray paint, paint it black. Then I'll come back to y'all whenever it gets dry. Okay, so all I'm doing now, well hopefully you can hear is I got my heater on. I'm taking a little razor blade and I'm pulling up the decal. That way you have your design. And also if you're doing this, make sure you do it in a warm spot. My plexiglass cracked a little bit over here. I just spray painted it and we went and got something to eat and come back and it cracked. I'm guessing from where it got really cold because I had it warm in here and it dropped temperature really fast. So if you're doing this, make sure you do it in like a warm location. And of course, after you get it all done and everything, you'll be fine. This is the first time I've ever actually had one of these break, and I've done 3 or 4 of them. But right now, I'm still just pulling it up, and I'll pull up the word, and it'll be done. So here goes that. So I finally got the decal off. This is how it should look. And again, I just had the halos I had laying around lighting it up. That's why the light really ain't that even. So if you get the strips and put it into place, like a strip here, and a strip here, and a strip here, it'll actually look a lot better than what you see here. Then you can see where my plexiglass cracked a little bit. Again, it's the first time I've ever had that happen. I say because it's really cold in here. So when it cracked, you know, it stood up a little bit and my paint started dripping down because it was still wet. But you get the idea of how to do this. Just make sure you can paint a lot better than I can. But I hope this video helped you out. Again, if you don't want to do the Firebird or Trans Am and the bird, you can have your own custom logo made. So say you want the Patriots logo, or say for instance you want to say Jason's Firebird, and you just get the decal cut out, say Jason's Firebird, and do exactly what I've done and peel the decal off and everything. Then it'll light up Jason's Firebird, for instance. Then if there's any other design you can think of, you can do this. And also, if you don't want the keyhole, say you just want it to be smooth, you can just not cut the hole out, then that'd be pretty cool to see without the keyhole. But I also think, one more thing, I also think that this would look really good with my Trans Am halos, the taillights. So you imagine just have the bird here, then the halos on each side, then your whole tail end of your Trans Am will look really cool with the halos. And I will leave a description or the link of that video in the description below. So make sure you like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.